Hello, everyone. Hope that you guys are having a wonderful week. How could we not with the fabulous November specials and October coming to a amazing screeching end. So I hope that your October was amazing and you hit the goals that you had, you hit the income level that you want, you hit any rank goals that you had. And I really, really hope that it has been an amazing October for you. I know that it was record breaking for the entire doTERRA company. So, and many of you guys I saw in the group had rank advanced, had gotten your power of 3 bonus, which is huge. And that just shows that you guys are implementing some of the things that we're talking about. And that excites me so much. So much that I had to pop on here and do our training video for the week. We're still kind of talking about membership overviews, and this week I wanted to really focus on referrals and how to never run out of people to talk to, and also just maintaining great customer care. So I'm going to talk with you guys a little bit about some of the things that I've implemented and learned in this whole process of having a lot of people. I have a really large team, and I've enrolled over 1,000 people personally. And I have maintained really good customer support with those people. And I've learned a lot through the process of doing it. I've learned some good things and I've learned some bad things. I've made big mistakes, and I've apologized a lot. So I'm going to just share with you guys just some of the things that I think that you can really just from today start implementing in your business. No fluffiness. So I hope that's okay with you guys. So I'm going to jump right into it. So the focus of this week, we're kind of branching off from our membership overview training, and I want to talk with you guys about how to never run out of people to talk to. And the way that the answer for literally, I would say 98% of issues going on my team or on other people's teams that I've, talked with other people about, the answer comes down to one thing, and that is referrals. That dirty R word that we're all afraid of. But let me just tell you this really surprising statistic. So 91% of your customers are willing to give you a referral, but only 11% of you are asking for them. Oh my goodness, we're missing out on like 80% of people who will give us referrals, and all those people that we could be talking to about essential oils and getting them using oils so that they can start implementing natural forms of healthcare. So I want you guys to just remember that when you are starting this whole thing where you're going to start implementing the referral approach, that 91% of people will give you referrals. Now, the way to get those is to be nice, to treat them like a human, and, to be yourself. And so in the membership overview training video, I talked with you a little bit about the referral approach to use at the end of that. So there's really two main times that you will ask for referrals, and I tell people to really figure out if they like doing it at the classes or if they like doing it at the membership overview. And so you don't know what you like until you test it out. So, I recommend from here on forward to do it both ways and to see which one that you like the most. So personally for me, and I don't want this to change your mind and make you do anything different, but I like doing it at the membership overviews. And the reason why I like doing it at the membership overview is because when I am doing a one-on-one, I'm already giving my time to them. And so they always feel, most people feel like giving something back to you in return. That's human nature, right? We don't like being in debt to people. And so if somebody's giving us our time, there's always something that we want to give in return. Sometimes it's a hug or a thank you. Sometimes it's 5 names and 5 names of people that we can contact about doing a one-on-one with. Sometimes it's a roller bottle just for coming. But just keep that in mind, that human nature is, we have this give and take thing. So I feel like at my classes, especially if I enroll someone, that for me, that's not the right time to ask for a referral. Now, if somebody is not going to enroll, like they're not getting away without me asking for a referral, because human nature, once again, is she spent 45 minutes in her time coming here to teach me a class. I can't buy a kit, so I'm going to give her 5 names, and hopefully one of my friends will buy a kit from her. So that's just how human nature is. So I feel if I've done the whole drop down, they don't want a kit, they don't want a membership with the, with the $55 with the intro kit, and I feel like I'm letting them go. That feeling where like, oh, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get this person enrolled. That is when I'll say, well, how did you enjoy, the presentation today? How did you enjoy this? And usually they're like, I love it. I just absolutely love everything. I just can't afford it right now. And that's where I'll kind of make them feel a little bit better about themselves. Because at that point, you've been in that situation, right? Where you feel awful for not being able to do something that you want to do. So there are times where, that happens in our business, where we sit down with somebody and, legitimately they can't afford to buy a kit right now. So what I do is I just say, well, I'm just so glad that I'm so glad that you were here. And I'm so glad that you enjoyed my presentation today. This is where you could really help me out. And I know that, it's not the right time for you to purchase a kit. But what I like to do is I like to meet with people that I personally know or that other people have recommended to me. So it would really help me out if you could give me 5 names of 5 people that that would be nice enough to meet with me. And then I just tell them, I go, it's not people that you think are going to, definitely purchase anything from me. Just people that come to mind that are concerned about their family's health. And if you were to do this for me, I'll whip you up a roller bottle for every 5 names that you give me. So that is usually the time where I do use the referral approach at a one-on-one or a class, is if somebody says no to me and they don't want to buy a kit. So now the other time that you ask for referrals, and this is where you're going to get the most return, is at a membership overview. And so in our video last week or the week before, I mentioned to you guys when you would actually do this, okay? So it's all part of the membership overview. And depending on if you want to teach a class or do a one-on-one, your approach is going to be a little bit different. Now, if you prefer to teach classes, then the first thing you're going to ask for is for people to host a class. And so in the script last week or the week before, we talked about how that would look, and it's at the end of the membership overview, right before we bring up the business side of things. You literally say the next thing to chat about, Karen, is whether or not you want to host a class or an event or use whatever word you want to use or you're comfortable with. I just want to run it by you to see what you decide. Either way is fine with me. And then what you'll do is you'll tell them how it works. So here's how it works. We'll set up a date. I'll give you an approach and what to say to your friends to invite them. We'll have fun. We'll, have some peppermint brownies. If people buy and your friends decide to buy a kit, that's awesome. If not, that's no big deal. We're still going to have a good time. State your agenda to make her more comfortable. So you'll tell her it's only going to take 30 to 45 minutes. If it takes any longer, it's just because your friends are asking me questions or we're having a good time. What do you think? And so that's done at the membership overview. You let them answer. And if they say, that sounds awesome. So if they say it's awesome, that's when you'll say, awesome. Like, I'm going to help you do this. Let's set up a time. And then you'll, figure out a time where you can do that. Now, if they are not interested in hosting a class, or maybe you're not comfortable or you don't want to host a class, right? You just want to do one-on-ones, then you're going to go with this, okay? Then you'll start with pretty much what I just said to you at the beginning. I'll say, well, here's where you can really help me out. Now, people want to help you out, okay? For one, okay, remember the give and take thing. You're sitting in front of them at a membership overview. You're giving your time again. And they want to naturally give you something for your time in return. So that this is an ideal time to ask for referrals. So if you ask for to host a class and they said no, then you're going to move to this drop down. It's kind of it sounds a little bit less evil to them. And you'll say, this is where you can really help me out. I really love to meet with people who I've been recommended to. And what I would love for you to do is just jot down 5 people that you know who would benefit from sitting down with me one-on-one. We're just going to do what I did with you last Friday, okay? Nothing hokey pokey. It's just going to be exactly the same thing. They don't have to be people that you think are going to buy from me. Just people that you know who, value their family's health. And the reason why I say that is because that is my target market's pain point. And so if you have a target market that is different than moms who are taking care of their families, then you're going to use a different pain point. Okay, so if you're talking to chiropractor offices, you're going to say something a little bit different than, people who value their health. It might be, people who are suffering from blank, fill in the blank. So whatever your target market is, that's where you're really speaking to them and their pain point of whatever is going on. So that's why I say my target market is moms with kids taking care of their family and just trying to survive. So I say, it really doesn't have to be 5 people that you think are going to buy. Just people that, moms that are concerned about their family's health and want to take care of, their babies more naturally. And then this is where I have a pen and a paper ready. And I say it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have people, okay, you think will buy. And then I tell them what they're going to get from me. So to my membership overviews, I bring a big Ziploc bag of some oils that they didn't get in their kit, and some fractionated coconut oil, and some empty roll-on bottles. And so I give them 2 choices. I say, for every 5 people that you give me, I'll give you a roller bottle for free. Here's a pen, here's a paper, I slide it over, and I just say, I really appreciate your help. And then I'll see them start writing the names down, and that's where I'll say, would you like a roller bottle for boosting your energy? Or would you like a roller bottle to calm your kids down at night? And usually they'll say, oh my gosh, I need one for my kids. So I'll whip them up something that includes oils that aren't in their kit, because I'm thinking about giving them something that they can fall in love with, okay? They've got their 10 oils, they've got lavender, they've got lemon, all that can help boost their energy and help them sleep, but I want to give them something else. So I usually have Serenity and Balance, or I have Serenity and Vetiver, so I'll make them a roller bottle for that, if that's what they want. And then as they are filling out the names, so I'm not sitting here awkwardly, like drumming my fingers, looking at them, writing the names down, I'll start making up the roller bottles for them while they're filling out the names, so there's no awkward silence. And then I'll just hand it to them, and I say, thank you so much. Now here's where the next step comes in. So a lot of people will say, I'm not really comfortable giving out somebody's name and number without talking to them first. And so what I'll say is, I totally understand. First of all, I want you to know I'm not going to do anything different than what I did with you. So you can let them know that Jackie will be contacting them, and just say something like, Jackie from doTERRA. People don't really identify, you're a wellness advocate or you're with doTERRA corporate. They don't know the difference. So usually they'll just say, Jackie, she's with doTERRA. She's, I gave her your name and number, or is it okay if I give her your name and number? She's going to contact you about ways you can naturally take care of your family. And most likely they'll say, okay. And so if somebody has that objection of, well, I'm not really comfortable giving out a number, that's what I'll say at that point. I don't say it first, because if they're comfortable giving out a name and number, great, because we want to make this easier for our customer that's sitting before us. And the less steps that we can make for them, the more likely that they're going to do it. So if I say, well, if you could text them this first and then let them know I'm going to be contacting them, that's one more step that I have to wait on somebody for. And so if I don't have to wait on somebody for that, then fine. I'm good cold calling people because I'm totally fine doing that now. And I have a really great follow-up system. So that's how I handled that objection. Now, if they start writing the names and numbers and they say, well, shouldn't I touch base with them first? I'll say, absolutely. I'll, write the name and number down. And if you can contact them tonight and let them know, just send them a text saying, Jackie with doTERRA, she's a wellness avid. She's going to contact you about natural way, setting up an appointment for, where she can give you natural ways of taking care of your family's health. I just want to let you know that she'll touch base with you. So, and then I'll give them, 24 hours to be able to do that. So that way you're not like waiting on them to talk with that other person or text them, and you have those name and numbers, but you've respected that, I'm going to wait, 12, 24 hours to contact them because that, the person you're doing a membership overview with wants to make sure that they touch base with them first. So that would be great if they did that. So the other question comes in is, and we can get into a placement talk here, is what if this person wants to build a business and I do a class for them? How does that look? So that is why it is absolutely essential in the membership overview to say at the very end, the next thing we talk about is the business side of things. Have you ever thought about owning your own business? And then why is that important to you? You get them talking, and then you say, well, I just want to cover this, and you can take it or leave it, but most people are just curious how the business side of doTERRA works, so this is how it looks. And this was all in the membership overview training that we already did, so you can go back and watch that video and see kind of how the language is. But if they show an interest in building the business, that is where things look a little bit different, okay? Because then obviously you're not going to enroll their people. I am a firm believer in people stay together. So what I usually do is I make sure that this person wants to build the business, and then I start the whole talking about launching their business. And part of that whole process is inviting. And so we talk about how to invite their friends and how to get their friends to their first class. And that's all part of the training that we do together, that I've done with you, that you can now do with them. And they get to practice on their friends. That's the best people to practice on. So I have them go through it. I have them do that and invite their friends, and then they enroll them, not me. And I don't teach the first class for them anymore. So I used to do that, and it became, where people became very dependent on me. And I don't want that. I want people to be independent. We're entrepreneurs. We run our own business. I want them to do this their way. So now I just have them teach the class. I'll usually help with the closing because, that's what a lot of people are a little awkward with at first. And then after that, they're on their own. And a lot of times people actually prefer it, and that's why it's really important to ask, do you want me to be with you at your first class? And some people will say, that'll make me really nervous. It's 5 o'clock. I would probably prefer if I just do it alone. And that's where you have to let go of control. All you control freaks in here are probably going, no way, I would never, ever, ever, ever do that. But it's important to really start with your new business associates in doTERRA to start off on the right foot. And that is where you're not creating entitlement, you're not creating dependency on you, and you are really showing them how duplicatable this business is. So that is why I'm a strong believer in, they go through my training, we practice together, we practice the presentation, and we practice the close, and they do it from the get-go. Because how many times does it take for us to get comfortable doing this? It takes about 3 to 5 times, really, to get comfortable doing a one-on-one with people. And so I want them to get comfortable as quickly as possible so that they can run with this and be successful. I don't want them to be dependent on me, and when can I help them, and when can I be there, and when can I teach for them, and when can I close for them. I want them to get off on the right foot and be comfortable from the get-go and be dependent on only themselves. I'm there to help them. I'm there to mentor them. I'm there to, answer questions and support them, but I'm not there to hold their hand and be their mommy. So off on a huge tangent right there. Sorry. So also give them freedom to, when you are doing the membership overview and you're asking for referrals and you're setting up a time, to connect with the people, give them the freedom to bring a friend. So, if you're setting up a one-on-one with someone that's, that has referred you, a referral, give them the freedom to bring a friend. A lot of people are more comfortable, especially if they don't know you. So I'm going to move into really talking about how to call these referrals, because I know that's a question as you guys have. So we'll move into talking to that, and then we'll come back and I'll tie it all together. Now, if you are doing Zoom membership overviews like I do a lot of, then it's a little bit different. You won't be able to slide a pen and paper over. You're going to have to ask them to text you the name and numbers. So what I'll usually say is, for every, 5 people that you give me, I'll give you a free roll-on bottle that I'll mail to you. And it's, the easiest way for you to do this is just to text those contacts to me. And after I get those today or tomorrow, I'll throw this bad boy in the mail for you. And so as soon as I get those texts, then I pop this in the mail with a thank you letter and a personal note, and get that off to them as I had promised. So how do we actually call a referral? How do we call a referral without sounding like that person? So pretty much you want to use the same formula that we've talked about for presenting, for membership overviews, okay? You want to keep the invitation short and sweet. You want to acknowledge the awkward. You want to let them know that you're not gonna keep them on the phone right now for a long time. And you also want to give them a need. You want to present the need to them. So why do they need to go to a one-on-one with you? So that's where we bring up a common pain point. So I like to say, hey, Monica, this is Jackie Ritz. You don't know me. Did your friend Beth say I was going to call? Did she tell you? And whether or not they say yes or no, that's really not important. So it's just bringing it around full circle so that they know that you're a friend of Beth's, okay? And then I'll say, Beth and I, we sat down and we talked about essential oils and how they can help her family be a little bit more healthier during the fall and winter. And she gave me your name and thought that you would be interested in sitting down with me and booking an appointment as well. And then this is where you'll tell them, what this is going to look like. So I'll say, well, usually what I do during these appointments is we'll talk about your health goals. We'll talk a little bit about our most popular starter kits with doTERRA. My part only takes about 30 minutes. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something that you like that can help your family, then I'll be happy to help you order it. Is this something that you're open to? And so if they say yes, then I say, well, first of all, where are you located? And if they're local to me, then I'll say, well, we can do this in person, or we can do it over the phone or via Zoom. Which one would you prefer? And then I'll listen for them to answer, and then I'll say, I'll give them 2 different times. So instead of just saying, what days are good for you and drawing out the conversation, trying to pick a time, I'll say, are evenings better for you or mornings usually better? And they'll say, they'll probably go over their schedule a little bit. And then you can give them 2 times based off of what they are most available, what times they're most available. So I'll say, okay, so morning. So I have Monday morning at 10, or I have Monday morning at 8 available. Which one would you prefer? So that is how I call a referral for the first time. So what if they don't answer, right? What if they haven't answered, and now what do? Do you call them 1,000 times? No, not at all. We don't want to scare people. So what I usually do is, if they don't answer the phone, I leave a voice message. And what I do is I make it really short and sweet, and I say, hey, this is Jackie. You don't know me, but your friend Beth but I know your friend Beth. And Beth asked me to call you regarding learning more about essential oils and how they can support your family. My number is blank, blank, blank. If I don't hear back from you by Friday, I'll give you a quick call back. So keep an eye out for this number. Have a wonderful day. Okay, and then what I usually do is, after that voice message, I leave a text message. So I'll say, hey, this is Jackie, and I just make it really short and sweet. I'm friends with Beth. She asked me to call you about talking more about essential oils. I left you a voice message, and if I'll call you again on Friday. Have a great day. And then I'll call back on Friday, and I'll just say pretty much the same thing, just a little bit different. Just saying, hey, this is Jackie. I called you the other day. I know your friend Beth. We talked about essential oils and how they, and she thought you might be interested in learning more about them. I'm sorry I missed you again. My number is this. Our call won't take long, just about 5 minutes, and we can see if you want to chat further. Let me know either way. I'll try you one more time on Monday. Okay, and then I wait a few more days, and I don't text them after the second phone call. And then I'll call the one last time. So I call 3 times. Okay, I call 3 times. I leave a text message after the first call, and I leave a text message after the last call. And that's it. And then I take them off my contact list, and I never talk to them again unless they call me. So the third time, and you want to leave like 2 days in between your calls. And a lot of the times, guys, on the 3rd phone call, somebody will pick up. And they'll say, oh my gosh, I recognized your number. Yes, you're Jackie. You're friends with Beth. I want to meet with you. I'm sorry, it's been so busy. And then that's when you can coordinate a time to get together. So I always try to make sure that I tell them it's not going to take long. We'll talk about, our appointment will take about 30 minutes. We'll talk about your family's health and how essential oils can match and help you. Is this something that you're interested in? So, and if they are on the phone and they say yes, then we'll just schedule a time. I'll give them 2 separate times that we can work out, and we'll meet together either face to face, either by Zoom, or either on the phone. So that is how the process of contacting referrals work. Now, if they say yes, a referral says yes, that is when I will say, by all means, if you have a friend that you want to bring with you, bring them with you. The more the merrier. And that's why I really encourage Zoom appointments over phone calls, because you can have a lot of people on a Zoom call. You can send the link out to the customer that you're meeting with, and then she can share that link with a friend that she wants to bring. Now, if you're meeting face to face, they probably would be more comfortable anyway to bring a friend. So, and all the better for you, one less one-on-one that you have to do, and one more possible enrollment. So I give referrals the freedom to bring a friend. I also, if they want to bring a lot of people, then that's when you're going to treat it like a class. So if they say, when you give them the freedom to bring a friend, and they say, oh my gosh, I have like 5 people I would love to come, I'll just say, well, that is awesome. Like, we can pretty much set up a class where you can invite anyone you want. And then I'll go into the hostess approach instead of the referral, and the one-on-one approach. That's kind of how you decipher those. So hostesses work with classes and one-on-ones work with referrals. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, like, how do I go back and how do I get referrals from old customers? My recommendation is not to really focus on that. I want you guys to focus on, starting new and really implementing what we've talked about right now and no, not until I'm all done. Okay? And really to implement it with going forward. That's the easiest way. So I encourage you guys to focus on new appointments and to focus on your membership overviews and focus on getting referrals those 2 ways. Now there is a third way. And the third way I like to reserve for people who have been in the business. They're probably golds who have been stuck at gold or even dropped to silver, or even platinums who have hit platinum a few times and they are just stuck. It's a very vicious cycle to get stuck in because when you start, you don't really do things the right way. Unless you're on here and you're launching your business, you're starting the right way and you're going to be very successful starting the right way. So you probably won't have this problem. But if you've been stuck and you have no one to talk to and you don't even know how to get the ball rolling again, and you have a team, then the third way of getting referrals is contacting previous customers. And the way to do this is not to just say, hey, this is Jackie, I enrolled you 2 years ago. Do you have 5 people that I could contact and get together one-on-one with? Because they're going to read right through that. Okay, our customers are not stupid, and they know when you're pushing for a rank. They know when the end of the month is coming around and you're sharing all these BOGOs and flash sales and, all that good stuff. They know that. So don't treat them like they're dumb. Okay? So I really encourage good customer service every single week, every single month, okay? Because then you never get to the point where it's awkward, and you're all of a sudden you're stuck and you're reaching out to your old customers for referrals. You'll never be there. So if you're maintaining good customer service, then you're reaching out to your customers once or twice a month, no more than that, unless they're reaching out to you. So I have some people who are like, I don't need you to text me the specials every single month. I can figure out those myself. Awesome. Some people love my text every single month, and some people don't. So I respect that. And I reach out to everyone at least once a month through text or email. And sometimes a good old-fashioned phone call is awesome. I love doing, sometimes I'll do a little challenge for myself. Like every day I'll call an old customer and just thank them. So I'll look at, I'll go through and I'll look at some people who I've seen have consistently ordered for like months or years. And I'll just be like, I'm just going to call them. So I'll call them up and I'll just say, you know what? I just want to say thank you. Like, thank you for supporting my small at-home business. Thank you for being a consistent customer and ordering. How are you enjoying everything? And they love that. And then for everybody else, just make sure that every first of the month, you're sending a text and letting them know the promos, or you're sending an email, or you're calling them, or whatever you do. All right? If you do that, then there will never be the awkward, hey, I have no one to talk to, so I need to contact Cindy and see if she has any people for me. You don't want to get to that point. But if you are stuck, maybe you are silver, gold, or premier, and you're stuck. Hey, Frankie, shh. Then what I would recommend doing, and this is kind of like a 3-month game plan. 2 months if you want to shorten it a little bit. I would recommend picking up contact with them. So, calling them, contacting them, touching base with them, offering them wellness consults. Say, hey, it's been like 6 months since we've chatted. I'd love to do a wellness consult with you just to see where you're at and how, if you need any new oil protocols. And then do that. And then, after that, then you can ask for referrals. So you could say at the end of your wellness consult, and your wellness consult is going to look very similar to a membership overview. It'll be, what are some of your health goals? What oils are you using for that? What other kind of things are coming up in your family? And really suggesting creating a wish list for them of oils that they can order in the future. Really helping them just, create a protocol for their family's health. They love that. So at the end of that, you can ask for referrals, or you can maybe wait to the next month if you'd like to. Some people think that, hey, they think that the customer is going to think, this is why she wanted to do a wellness consult with me, is because she wanted to ask me for referrals. Most people don't think like that, but if that's you and you think that they're going to think that, then use that 2-month game plan. So the first month, you're going to do a wellness consult with them. You're going to follow up with them in a week and see how those oils are going that they started using for their, the new protocol that you created. The next month, you're going to send them the promo. You're going to send them the special. If you're having a team giveaway, you're going to send them that. And then maybe on the 3rd month, that is when you are going to check in and be like, hey, how are you enjoying all your oils? I could really use your help right now. I'm really love talking with people one-on-one that have been recommended to me. So I would love it if you could give me 5 names of friends and family who you think would be interested in learning more about essential oils and how they can support their family. They don't have to be people that you think will buy anything, just people who are nice and are interested in learning more natural forms of healthcare. Can you do that for me? And if they say, yeah, I'd love to, if this is done through text or messenger, that's where you'll say, well, just send me the text of 5 names and numbers. I have a roll-on bottle that I'll mail to you. Would you like one for sleep or one for energy? Okay, sleep. I'll make that for you as soon as I get that text from you, and I'll pop it in the mail. Thank you so much for helping me out. So that is kind of how it can look at when, you're kind of just trying to reestablish contact with old customers, maybe that have fallen through the cracks a little bit. And I think I've covered everything. So I hope that that was helpful for you guys. I knew that this training would be a little bit longer just because, referral talk is always, we always make it complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Our people are gonna want to give you names because you are helping them and you have helped them get the oils that they needed. You have sat down with them, you've respected their time, you've respected their preference on what they can afford. They've gotten the oils that they needed. And, absolutely at the membership overview, make sure that you are asking every single person for 5 names or to host a class. Okay. Now I think I missed this, but if you are asking them to host a class and they say, I'm not really interested in that, that is where you'll ask for the referrals instead. Well, instead of, having a class, what you can do is you can, just give me those people, those 5 names and numbers. And what I'll do is I'll set up appointments with them one-on-one. Thank you, honey. So I hope that this was helpful and you guys enjoyed this training. Sorry it was a little bit longer, so I'm gonna get off the screen and have an amazing November. Have an amazing November. I'll probably be doing another Facebook Live this week just to help you with customer support and giving you some things that I use, some resources that I use just to really maintain good customer support and answering any questions that you have about this training. So have a wonderful November. Make it awesome. Get those holiday products that you guys need. and have an amazing, amazing fall. Bye, everyone.